I'm Danielle with the Smiley Project, and today I'm going to teach you how to make a Mickey Mouse beanie. We are going to be making a preemie size. At the beginning, I showed you your list of supplies of what you'll need. So we're going to get right into it. I actually cut off a good amount of the red. I do 2 layers because it's a thinner yarn. I take it in my hand and I wrap it from my elbow through my finger 10 times. I have an empty ribbon spool, so I wrap it around so it doesn't get tangled up. All right, let's get started right away. To get started, I make a slip knot. I take the beginning of the yarn and I put it behind the long end of the yarn, making kind of a fish shape. Then I pinch my fingers through the back, grab the yarn, and pull through. If you already know how to make a slip knot, even better. You can begin by putting the yarn looped on to this hook and pulling tight. Then all we do is loop the yarn under, loop under, loop under, loop under, and we continue doing that the whole time. Once we've looped on all of the hooks, we just go ahead and make a second row. Once you have 2 completed rows, you just take your hook and you pull the bottom row over the top row, like so. Now you're just repeating exactly what you did last time. You're just looping under, and making a second row. Okay, now you just repeat what you did the first time and pull the bottom row over the top row. Just keep adding rows until you're out of the red. I am nearing the end of my red and I won't have enough to make another row. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish up this next row and then I'm going to cut off just enough to tie it into the black. Okay, I have a thicker yarn for the black, so I am only going to use 1 layer of the black. All I'm going to do is go ahead and tie the red and the black together very close to the base so that we start a new level with just the black. I cut off the excess red and the excess black, and all I do is start making rows exactly how I've been doing the whole time. You just loop under, and keep going. Probably we're going to make about 6 more rows. That'll be a pretty decent size hat. We're doing exactly the same thing, looping the bottom row over the top row. This is something fun and easy you can teach your whole family to do too. It's a lot of fun to sit around, and you can do this while you're watching TV, you can do it just for some downtime or a stress reliever. My whole family is involved. My kids really enjoy it. I even think my husband's gonna get on board here soon. He loves what we're doing, but I think he's a little intimidated. When you're done with your last row, leave about 18 inches before you cut it off. Tie the yarn twice to the needle. Then go ahead and take your needle and start to pull the yarn off. Once you're off the loom, just cinch the end closed. There'll be a little gap, and you can use the opportunity to use this extra yarn and just sew it into that space and close the hole. If you were just wanting to make a two-tone hat, then you are done. You don't have. If you're wanting to make the Mickey Mouse hat, then stay tuned. You can just tie the rest of the yarn you have left on the inside of the hat. And anything that's left over, just cut it off. So the normal loom that I use for ears is missing. I can't find it anywhere. My kids probably ran off with it. So I'm just gonna use the exact same loom and see how it turns out with bigger ears. It might look silly, I don't know. We'll find out together. So you're doing the same thing to start the ears that you did with the hat. Basically, it's the exact same process, it just doesn't last as long. Slipknot, loop, and loop under. You'll make the 2 rows, you'll loop the bottom row over the top row, and continue doing that. I'm trying it with just 4 rows, and I'm going to cut off about 2 feet because I want to make sure I have enough to weave in and out. You do the same action, double tie it. Alright, you just do the same thing and you cinch it off when you take it off. This is going to be bigger than what I'm used to for the ears, but hey, maybe I'll like it more. It's hard to know. So with this one, it's going to give you a bigger hole in the middle, so just make sure you go through and carefully fill in that hole. You can do it with the black. If you wanted to add red in the middle, you can. Something to give it a little extra something there. I'm learning right along with you. Sometimes you just gotta experiment. Sometimes you'll love it, sometimes you'll hate it, sometimes you'll say, that'll work. It's filled in pretty nicely. What I'm gonna do is try to end off my yarn somewhere close to the bottom so that it won't be noticeable that I pulled it off. I'm just going to cut it off and tie it off. If you have the loom that's smaller than this, it's about a 3-inch, I would recommend using that one. But mine grew legs, it seems. When you have 6 kids, that happens sometimes. Okay, next I'm going to take a needle with a pretty decent size hole. Trying to show you. Ooh, there it is. And yarn, thicker thread, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to go ahead and sew on the ear. It's not as bad as I thought. It's really coming together. That looks pretty cool. Now let's work on that second ear. The ears are a little on the big side, but I think it still turned out really nicely. And as a finishing touch, I like to add 2 buttons at the bottom. And there you have it. A quick and easy way to make a Mickey Mouse hat. I think it's absolutely adorable. Please subscribe to our page if you want to learn how to make other hats. And I hope to see you again soon.